Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap Live webinar with Bruce. So we'll be covering all markets here and looking at the order flow, looking at the transactions and the order book. Webinar with Bruce. So we'll be looking at the historical and current order book, and as well as the transactions within the market structure. Just three elements on the Bookmap chart. And we do this every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. We also have many other educators. We'll go over that in just a second, but let's go through the disclosures and also look at the markets here. Live forward-looking analysis. So general disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so yeah, I wanted to show you guys again. I keep hitting on this, but it is important. So go to the More button here, go to our new Learning Center in here. It's open and available to everybody. Okay, we have how to get connected here. There's a new Getting Started course on using Bookmap. Very simple, straightforward, short 1 minute or 2 minute videos, and it goes through all the different elements in Bookmap. We have our market mechanics course here. Now this course is what it's the foundation for basically everybody, all our streamers, everything, to understand the market mechanics, and then on top of that is how the other individuals trade. So understanding how these markets work is essential. All right, so you might want to watch some of these in here. There's 4 videos, and at least watch part 1. All right, well, let's jump in here. We'll take a look at Bookmap. I was just looking at some correlations here. Actually, I have some interesting things to show there. But I want to show, we'll start with the S&P E-mini here and take a look at what's going on. Any questions? Last few sessions we've had, good morning, Tony. We have talked a lot about absorption, and we can see it right in front of us here as well, and have another example in NASDAQ. This is just such a key thing to understand in Bookmap or any markets. And why do I say in Bookmap? Because this will offer you an edge if you can understand absorption. It's in the heat map here, right? So we can look at the heat map and you can see absorption here, absorption in here. And it leads to, we have some, some data here at 10 a.m. and you can see though, the data was good, but other traders are getting filled in here. They're buying. And where do we think would go? Well, how about 40? That's where the majority of the sellers are up here. So buyers, if they can continue to buy, we're looking for them to lift it up into 40. Okay, and that would be just for starters. All right, maybe it will start trending, but we're just looking for a small move at this time. Maybe it can come up into 45, 46, 50 up here, this liquidity, right? But we're just looking to see if we can get more buyers in here after the data, and after understanding absorption. We've got the absorption indicator here, and we have 212, 814, 396. These are lots that transacted very quickly within the order book. And it's documented here, right? We also have stops and icebergs in here that can show where larger players are positioning themselves as well with iceberg orders. And actually, they're getting they're short for the majority here of them from the icebergs. Anyway, let me jump back. Good morning, Slowdown. Any requests you guys would like to, for me to cover here? I know Slowdown likes the microstructure. We can talk about that. Maybe we focus on that today. Let me put a poll into YouTube and see what you guys prefer. And as we we'll go through the markets in general. So Microstructure. And you know, I always, everyone seems to call it microstructure. It's not, but you know, that's the term, and it's becoming the new term, redefining itself here. Let's see, we can talk more about absorption and exhaustion, like we did yesterday. A lot on exhaustion as well. And we can add one more, which would be a very interesting one. I will cover this at some point, is price action. Okay, so anyway, there's the poll, and let me know what you want me to cover. Happy to go through it. I also need to go through Trader Map Pro with you guys. There's some new features in the Trader Map Pro, but yeah, I'll probably go through those maybe later in the webinar here, or maybe on Friday. All right, so let's see here. Interesting move up to just up to here, and we're selling off now. So we just couldn't find those buyers in here. So it was looking for 40 here, and you know, especially after the data and after there's absorption here. But we're going to get more out of it here. All right, we're going to get the information here at 41.33. Okay, so look at the order book in here, current order book, right? A lot of contracts down here. Okay, so they're adding in as price is coming down, right? So that means they want to buy. Typically means they want to buy. These guys at 33 added more in as prices coming down. So you know, we know that they were absorbing down here previously. They seem to be supporting it. Okay, so that's behavior here of larger players. Now, we don't know if you know, that's going to make the market bounce or not. Right? There's more down here at 30. Okay, there might be more selling pressure in here that trades into and through this and then down into 30. Maybe it will go into, and we're going to wait and watch and see what unfolds here. That's where we're going to learn, and then manage risk properly after seeing this transact here. So it's already trading into these areas here. We see a stop run, and we know that these guys are getting filled in here. We can zoom in here and see it, and yeah, trading right into it here, as you guys can see. So there's no question about it, right? So there they go. There's still more selling pressure, and they're down here at 30 now. Okay, so there's still more selling pressure. So we're still looking for this to likely go down to 30, and there we go. Some transactions taking place into 30. Now, 28 starting to show up in the order book here. 25. Okay, 25 was in earlier, but 28 a little bit earlier, but now they're showing more interest. This is getting really interesting. All right, so we're still we still see selling pressure. Okay, we don't see the buyers coming in yet. Right, so we're still sticking with this downward theme until we see something different. We're starting to see something a little different. Look at the relationship here between stops and icebergs. More icebergs getting filled, and it's not a whole lot, a couple hundred or so, so it's not that really significant. And we also see stops being run to the downside, and we still continue here. Okay, our absorption indicator starting to pick up some down here as well, along with the heat map. Okay, we're still seeing selling pressure though. Okay, so we're still looking for this to go lower until we see something different. We're looking for the buyers to come in and tell us that they are buying, and that's what we're looking for here. Else we stay with the direction here to the downside. Okay, don't take the risk. Let the market tell you, let the participants in here tell you what's happening. All right, so let's see here. Good morning, Jack. All right, yes, I will reach out to you later today. I missed you yesterday. Can't wait. Can't wait. Some exciting stuff. All right. Let's see here. All right. So now it's getting interesting here. Look at them starting to add more here on the bid. Okay. This is how these things start, right? They start bidding up. Sellers can't get into this area here. They can't trade through it. They're absorbing it. And then we start to see the buyers come in. That's what we're still waiting for. So waiting for these to, we want to see these transactions take place, and look at their behavior in here with these limit buy orders. It's kind of iffy. Getting filled in some of these areas, like here, getting filled a little bit in here, but also pulling some along the way. Okay, so they're, you know, kind of adding into their position. Okay, more on the bid, right? Now, that's good. We're starting to understand this. Now what we're looking for in here is when those aggressive buyers come in. Okay, so and then we start to target high liquidity on the offer, like up here at 33. Okay, so let's see if we get our buyers starting to come in. Okay, we see a little bit here, but this is where we look for the price structure first to be broken, and it would be this line right here. Okay, and it is breaking here. All right, so the next one's up here at 31. Okay, so maybe we can trade up there. I just don't see enough buyers yet. You know, it's not really hitting us over the head here that the buying is coming in, right? So we can look at this, and we want to understand those aggressors in here in terms of it overwhelming the you know, in relationship here, the relative volume in here, the red dots versus the green dots. We're looking for a lot of green dots. Okay, more buyers. And now we're also looking for some exhaustion down here, or support for these guys to show more limit buy orders up at these areas, up at a higher area, and that would be bullish. We have an absorption indicator, Ron, that it's very, very simple and straightforward. It's right here, 166 contracts. Let me show you how it works. It's very, very simple. Within 0.01 seconds, we have it in auto mode here, which is by a time and a standard deviation, but it sounds complex. It's pretty straightforward as well, but you can see it's 156 up here is the number. So if I deselect it now, the auto mode, I'm looking for when this condition is true. Within 0.01 seconds, 156 contracts trade. Okay, so very, very quick trade, which typically is what absorption looks like. Trades into an area. Now we're only talking about one price level. All right, so a lot of times, look how this complements the high liquidity that you see in here. Okay, so there's 166, and we know that with the heat map as well. Okay, this one probably came pretty close to it, but not within 0.01 seconds, just not quite enough. And then we can also look, though, for when this condition is true, and we don't see it in the heat map, right? And that would be likely an iceberg or a hidden order. Okay, that's trading and transacting on the best bid, but they're not really in the order book. Okay, like this one right here. Okay, now we don't see it in the we can force it if we lower this down to like 100. We'll probably see it. Interesting. No. Okay, let's try 80. Yeah, there we go. This should do it. Huh, interesting. Should show up. This looks like a big red dot to me, trading very, very quickly. We know it's an iceberg, though, that's for sure. Let's just keep lowering it here. Let's go to 50. Okay, there it is, 53. All right, so there's a few this is why it didn't show up. You can see it's kind of spread out over some time here. Okay, so that's why. Anyway, let's go back to auto mode. I like it, and Just looking for the most important liquidity to transact. All right, we're starting to see our buyers come in. Look at them. And the order book's starting to flip as well a bit. So let's see if they can continue on up to the next level, which would be, I would look for the 33 here, but I see liquidity up here also at 35. And the VWAP's up here, but we have our 37 and our 40 levels up here, which we were looking for earlier, was our 40 level. Okay, so we're looking for more buying pressure in here, right? So that we're looking for this shift. Okay, we noted the absorption on the way down, and then let's take a look here. So for example, what we're looking for here is either more absorption or exhaustion. Okay, no selling, and we're not getting that yet. We still see some sellers. Okay, I would love to see it trade into here and then come back up, and then right around 30 see big green dots. Yeah, that would be something very simple to read. Okay, it's a scenario that we're looking for. Here we go. Let's see where it looks like we might get it. So I'm gonna, boy, I hate to turn my head here, but I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna look at the bigger picture here, and we'll come back to this here. You know, I'm not really sure yet what we're looking for those buyers here, but this, you know, there's just the bigger picture is look at that selling, and then this buying is what we're talking about here. It's pretty paltry in comparison. All right, so we're not really, yeah, we'd love to see massive buying come in and trade up to 33 and then maybe higher here. Not seeing it quite yet. All right, so let's leave it off at that with the higher time frame. Let's look at our daily, hourly, and 15-minute. So on the daily chart, well, you can see that we see the red candle coming in, and we're down below these wicks right now. If we see more momentum for today, then we can get this extended day and then move down into maybe 4108 or 4100, the figure down here, okay, where there were previous buyers in here due to the wicks and the move up. All right, so let's see if we that would be a bigger picture scenario. Let's look at the hourly though, and let's see if we get our continued momentum here. And let's look at maybe a little bit more data in here. Hold on a minute to show how many bars. About 150. Okay, that's a little too much. About 100. Okay. All right, how's our hourly looking? All right, so yeah, we got a ways to go here. Like there's a little pocket down in here, but it's kind of a zone. So somewhere between 21 on up to like 27, and we're almost there, getting into that zone. All right, so now how does that fit with what we were looking at earlier? Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then we're still looking for more sellers in here, right? And here they come. We did turn our head there for a minute, and we had some exhaustion in here and had some selling. Okay, the exhaustion would be not quite here, but here for sure. Hold on, right here. Okay, selling here into this, no buying up here, more selling coming in. Great, looking for it, and then looking for the move down into 27 and 25. At this point, I would be looking for that move. It's been hacking around in here for a while, but the opposite scenario would be we trade into here, and then we get our buyers up in here, and they're pulling on the offer. Okay, so let's see here. So almost down to 27, and It's just kind of chopping back and forth here. Let's see, I do have a few different things to take a look at. What was it in the S&P from yesterday and today? A couple of correlations to take a look at. Well, first off, any questions on absorption in here? No? Okay. Yeah, it's really important to understand that who's getting filled on the other side. It's just how the markets work. If they're going to stay on the other side, this is what will absorb the selling pressure, and then there will be no more sellers, and you'll start to find buyers. There's some absorption on the other side right there, 141. Yeah, there's something I saw here earlier in the NASDAQ. I thought was a very, very simple opportunity. It was right here at the open. Again, absorption, 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 stop run here. Stop run here. And then what really helped though here is, back up into this area here. We look for the buyers to try to carry it back up into like here, or the swing up into, hold on, either here or these swings in here. Yeah, we can target the high liquidity in here as well, and that would be your kind of first consideration for managing your trade at that point. And then the second one can be up at the swing up in here. Now, what really helped here was looking at correlations. Okay, we talked about this the other day, and here we've got a few different things to take a look at, and we want to look at 930. Okay, so yeah, here it was. This is what I noticed here, and I can show you how to put this together here. This chart, it's really simple, and there is an edge I feel using this chart, and compared to I can show you another example, like investing.com or whomever it might be. It doesn't really matter. But if you look at, like, I don't know, euro dollar, for example, okay, and you can add correlations in here. Okay, we look at the ES. Okay, then we can also look at the NQ. Okay, we can also look at Apple. All right, and we didn't get too much out of that, a little bit, but now we've got some correlated markets. Now what really is horrible about this is we can even look down at a, can I look at a 1 minute? Yeah, we can look at even at a 1 minute chart in here, but there's a problem here. This is aggregated data within that period and a 1 minute period here, and this line typically goes back and forth. Yeah, it's starting to do it. We'll just go back and forth, up and down, and until that period closes. So you don't really know what that relationship is until the period closes. Okay, so that is kind of an issue, because like you might see a spike, but then the period closes and you got duped into it. In Bookmap, it's just pure last price action, and that is an edge in here, because like it won't do that. It just, this is the last transaction here, so you have immediate access to the last transaction, right? And it gives a much clearer picture of the price structure in here. Look how Apple broke this up here and is breaking down now. So what I wanted to cover here at the open at 9:30 here is that Apple, which makes up, we can take a look at another resource in here. And we can look at technology sector in here and look at Apple and Microsoft. Okay, they dominate. Okay, they dominate. They dominate the S&P. They dominate the Nasdaq. Apple is going to the moon here. And what's happening here with the Nasdaq? Okay, this is the Nasdaq here. Yeah, the blue line is the Nasdaq. The orange line is the S&P, and this white line is the euro dollar. Okay, and this purple one is Apple. All right, so as Apple is going to the moon, which we know holds a majority, it's one of the two biggest players in the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq's dropping. Okay, this is what I noted. And this is what I saw in the Nasdaq. Hold on. In the Nasdaq, at the open, it is dropping at 9:30 into high liquidity, high liquidity, high liquidity, and it doesn't quite come down to this 980 here. All right, they are absorbing, or they're staying in the order book. They are getting filled in here. This is an opportunity. They saw it. Okay, or these traders saw it, and then you're looking for it to now correlate with Apple that's going to the moon. All right, so you can consider getting in someplace around here and then managing your trade. Okay, you can even get in probably sooner if you really wanted to be aggressive. It's fractal. You would look at maybe the break of this little structure, and there would be a trend line in here, and then maybe you can get in here someplace and look for, maybe, depends if you want to reduce risk up here or up higher, right? You can add into it here, maybe. There's just different ways of doing it. And in fact, I do have an example here I can show you. Hold on, I got to turn it on. So, you know, this was during a meeting, so I just saw it, and I would have liked to have gotten in a little earlier, maybe around here. But this is where I got in. Okay, now this is like between meetings, and you know, we are in sim here. Okay, but I want to show this just for considerations here. We have some very simple setups, very simple ways of starting to understand how to read this information and put it to use. Okay, and manage the risk. All right, so I'm looking at the correlation that didn't make sense to me. I know that they're getting filled here on the bid. Lots of traders getting filled. I'm waiting for the aggressive buyers to catch up, and then I'm getting out here, okay, just above that liquidity, and then up here, right? Those are the targets, and it was up here, right? That was my target. It was a little bit above it. I thought we'd spike above it here, and then at the last second, I saw that this little spike, and then I saw sellers come in, or I felt that sellers were going to come in, and that's not good. But I'll, you know, that's something that I'll improve. I have just noticed this in the past, though. When you get these spikes, and you're going to get some exhaustion and a pullback before you get your spike again, right? So in this case, yeah, it looks like a good decision, but it would have been better to try to let it play out, instead get out maybe down here or down here, right? It should have worked. But anyway, just some considerations in here. So anyway, I just wanted to show that. And there was also something in I wanted to show here in and these are experiments, right? You know, just understanding very simple things in here and putting these pieces together. Okay, it's not a trade recommendation. I just want to show an example. So this is less kind of esoteric to you guys. Yeah, if you have, Ron, if you have the dollar index, do it instead of euro dollar. You can get dollar index from DX feed, I believe. So you could add that correlation in Bookmap. Okay, but I do not have it, so I'm using euro dollar, and it's working fine for me. Yeah, it would be better to have euro dollar though. All right, so anyway, guys, just some ideas in here, looking for these things, and look at the absorption into these areas here in the NASDAQ right now. Okay, here, 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 and here. Okay, do we see the buyers coming in yet? No, not yet, but this is the first thing to look at here. Okay, in terms of price structure, we're not ready yet either. Okay, so you can see here the price structure, we're still trading lower. There's still more selling pressure in here. All right, so let's see if they can trade into these lower levels here. All right, we're still waiting for the buyers to come in. It's not ready. So let's see here. There was something also in the S&P wanted to show. Maybe it was yesterday, and I just wanted to go through that. Okay, over in the chat in Discord, we can take a look here. Is it this? Yeah, there was a few different. So just to show, what I wanted to show was some of the trade management within it, within some of these ideas. So it doesn't seem so foreign. So we had stops and icebergs right in here, icebergs buying, high liquidity in here, getting filled. I jumped in down here. I took some off here. Okay, can you guys see that? Maybe I should open it up in another window. Yeah, here, this is better. So I got in here. I took some off here because of this liquidity and these transactions up here. I took some off here. It's not much, right? But, maybe it'll come up here. It did, but I didn't have to put up with this in here. I'm looking for reducing the risk and then letting it run. And that's what I did. And I took a small loss on this one here. Okay, the rest of it. Okay, so a profit, a small loss. I'm still in the green here, right? That's how I managed this one here. And then what happened? All right, well, I got stopped out. Price came back down into this high liquidity in here. We see lots of absorption indicator here. We see a nice big stop run here, and I noted the buyers coming back in, and I got back in here. Okay, so strong buying starting to come in. I got back in, and then took some off here. Okay, now how could I done better in here? I probably could have, seen this in here, noted that there's absorption down here. We know that. We can see it here. We see the liquidity, and we do see some back and forth in here. But now we have a beautiful stop run, even more absorption here, and I'm starting to see the strong buying coming in. All right, so at that point, maybe I should have looked at taking some off up here or up here in this liquidity level up here, right? Instead, yeah, maybe I can let that run a little bit. I look for this swing up here, okay, and I took some off, and I let it run. All right, I let the rest run, and then here's what I did. You can see originally my take profit was just in front of that liquidity here, and I pulled it, added it higher. It wasn't VWAP here. I saw something else. Yeah, it was maybe the liquidity in here at this level at 52. And then I thought, well, if we see strong buying pressure, we should see this be hit here. Okay, that would be my target. Okay, and you would also target this liquidity here, so at 50, and then also this 51. Okay, now it went higher than that for the day, but those are my targets. It went a lot higher. Okay, this actually turned out to be a really nice what do you call it, flag pattern, bullish flag pattern, beauty in fact. All right, so just look, the goal here is to get across these ideas of understanding the order flow and then also integrating some trade management into it. That's all. Okay, that's all this is about. And trying to help you guys as much as we can here. That's the goal. All right. So let me know if you have any questions on that. Happy to go through it. Let's see here. Okay, Noah, thank you. Yeah, Noah just highly recommends the Discord. It's free. You don't need to be a Bookmap subscriber. A wealth of information and shows the power of Bookmap. Absolutely. I mean, that's what we're here for, is to help you with that. All right. So please, come join into the community. We go through this stuff all day long. We have streamers all day long. Check out our calendar. Right after this, we have Tom B, volume profile trader, looking at the S&P E-mini. Right after that, we have today we have John Slazas. That's right, crypto trader. He's looking at his levels. He's just a complete expert in market structure, right? So if you guys want more information on more kind of understanding of market structure, come to that webinar. He's an older highly experienced futures trader that turned into crypto, okay? And he trades the futures still and other things, but his focus is on crypto. All right, so really happy to have him. Yeah, Jack, exactly. So like Jack's saying here that a lot of the trade setups, etc., and getting feedback. It's a learning environment. That's what we're doing in the Twitter. Or I'm sorry, in Twitter as well, but in Discord mostly. All right, guys. Well, again, I just see a lot of absorption in here. Okay, I just don't see the buyers yet. Okay, we might even have to go through the whole webinar here with this kind of dribbling off and lower lows, etc. We're starting to see some interesting stuff though. Okay, so look at right here. I'm going to put in a vertical line right here. We're looking for this transition here at this point. Can we get it? All right, so right here at 1035 and almost 1036. Okay, look at sellers over here, tons of absorption over here. Now look at the delta, look at the buyers. Okay, here we go. Now I see the buyers starting to spike in here. All right, so now the next area, if I'm looking for more buying in here, okay, and they're on the bid here as well, absorbed again. This would have to be a little careful about because they absorbed in this area here too, so maybe still some back and forth. But maybe you can find an opportunity kind of as a little bit of a pullback here around to about 26 3/4 or so, and then see if we can get back up into 30 here. All right. So anyway, I don't really see it quite yet. It's starting to form though. And maybe we'll get kind of a move back down into 26 or so, maybe this is it, right? If you see a lot of buyers starting to come in here, then it's not a trade recommendation, but then you start to look for the next level up in here, 29, 30, and take some off. Now it's not quite there yet, and this is not high probability at this point. Okay, but we're starting to note this, right? We can see it, and this is what we do want to see, is that absorption on the way down, and we want to see the buyers come back in. We don't have icebergs on our side either. Okay, they're on the other side of the trade, taking it in here. They're selling. Okay. anyway, I just want to be clear. What are we looking for? All right. Okay, nice little stop run in here. Anyway, we'll come back and revisit this. Got some results here on the poll. You guys want to look at some price action today? Great. All right, so we covered a lot of absorption. That was an exhaustion. That was second. So we can end the poll, I think. And then let's take a look at the price action in here. Okay, now this is an easy one. I feel we'll go through price action and then the transactions here in Bookmap, and also the order book and order flow. Yeah, see how we stayed away from this in here. Just not quite what we're looking for in here. This is good that they're on the bid in here. Okay, but what are they doing over on the offer in here, and what are all these icebergs doing in here? Okay, so just don't feel quite good about that. Here's our rotation back down. All right, so anyway, there's still a bit more selling pressure in here, but look at the delta starting to change. All right, we're noting that. Okay, so come back in here and we'll probably talk about price action. And well, there are fractal opportunities in here. Okay, if you like to trade like that, and you've studied this is something you want to do, we can touch on the microstructure a little bit. Okay, so here I'm not looking for sellers. I'm looking for exhaustion. And in fact, I'm looking for these guys to be trapped here. Okay, it'd be better if it traded back down into this liquidity first, and then we see the buyers come in. Okay, we'll cover this really quickly here. But what if? Okay, the what if is like I'm looking for buyers up here now. Okay, in this microstructure. Okay, and do we see them? No, not yet. Let's see if we can get them here. There's some exhaustion. Now we're looking for our buyers here, 26.5. And it's just not much. Okay, and then what we're looking for is this. Okay, that this little structure will be broken and it will trade up to here, top of the range up here. That's what we're looking for. Okay, here we go. Some liquidity there, some buyers, and let's see it. Buyers are on the bid. That looks good. I like it. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take this. Is something I wouldn't take. This would be, it's not hitting us over the head here, but we're looking for this scenario still to play out. Okay, so buyers in here and the move back up here. All right, so anyway, just nothing looking fantastic. So learning about order flow, looking for these, refining your trading process, and then looking for a follow through. Okay, and then taking that information and looking for something that is better. Let's see it, buyers in the move up here, 28, and they're pulling up there. There they go. Yeah, Leo, let me show you how to create that correlation chart. It's really simple. Okay, and then we'll talk about price action. All right, guys, see how this is starting to play out now. Again, like this was the scenario we were looking for. Right now, the buyers are starting to step it up here. Okay, so let's see what does this look like in here. Yeah, it's looking better now. I don't like that they're staying in here still in the book here a bit, but Yeah, I'm still looking forward to trade back up and probably, yeah, 31 maybe here, right? Look at the buying here. See how much better that looks now? Remember down here, we didn't really like it too much. It's looking better in here now. Okay, it's stronger, right? We're looking for this to pull up now up into these areas of liquidity, and then reduce your risk and look for even more to try to come in here and take it up to maybe 34, which I don't I VWAP is just so attractive to look at. I don't like to lean on it though. I like to look at the price action in here on the move back up into here. We also have a lot of transactions up in here. So the move for me would be up into like about 34, something like that, right? Okay, let's jump back in here, guys. I'm kind of all over the place, so we'll go over this correlation tracker in here. We'll cover how you can get this chart up, and then we'll look at the price action. Okay, so first off, if you're going to use the correlation tracker, okay, it's here. You need to have Bookmap Global Plus, I believe. I'm not sure about that, but in fact, let me double check. Let's go to bookmap.com, pricing, and I think it says it in here. No. Do I see it? Control find correlation. No. Okay, so we got to go here, and then we'll find it. Correlation tracker. All right, so it only comes with Global Plus. You will need Global Plus. All right, so anyway, that's that. All right, guys, see how this was now. This is an easier, it looks like a horrible entry here, but this is an easier read here, right? In these areas here, it's stronger. So we're looking for it to pull up to these areas here. So our next level was here at 30. Okay, and it was getting, the strength came in around this 28 level after it traded up here, right? And it did not look so good in here. It was starting to do it, but it just didn't look so good. This looks better to me. Okay, so yeah, and I'm still looking for it to go, right? We see that, look at the transition in the deltas. Okay, look at the transition in the bars, look at the transition in the dot. Here's our vertical line right here. We noted all the absorption on the way down. This is what a reversal starts to look like. Okay, so we're still looking for it to go up higher. Yeah, I like yeah, 34 looks pretty good, somewhere up in there. All right, trade management wise, yeah, if you were looking to splice into the small trade, it would have been in here someplace. Try to take some off at 28. If you're looking at a bigger picture, then maybe you're getting in around 28 and a half or so, looking for it to come up 30, 31, maybe take some off, and then looking for the move higher, right? Just reducing that risk. You don't have to, when you see, like, I like to reduce the risk, and it might be it's something to consider when you really see the strong move, and I would have reduced the risk for sure. If you see the stronger move though, a lot of times, boy, you're leaning on it, and you can look for the follow through, the continuation, right? So, and you can even, in fact, someone like Jack is not only looking for that, he's adding into those opportunities. Okay, and that's how you can really make some money, is you start leveraging. Look good down here, it looks better here, it looks better here, and you're still looking for taking some off, maybe just taking some off up here, and then looking for maybe to break through VWAP, pull back, and then come back up to 40, something like this. This was your first trade in the ES. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Yeah, today's a little weird, but these concepts, you know, that we're teaching in here, they just unfold again and again. It's just how the market works. There's buyers, there's sellers. We're looking at the auction. We're understanding the whole process. All right, back to the correlation tracker and then to the price action. All right, so you have to open up all the symbols for this correlation tracker to work. Once you have all the symbols open that you want to add to your chart with the correlated markets, what I did here is, you can see I have two 6Es open. Okay, I have the regular 6E because I want to check out if there's areas in the 6E where there's a lot of absorption. Okay, so I'm looking for where there's going to be, you know, on the bid down here, they're buying the euro dollar, and then maybe you see this transition in the euro dollar align with the S&P. So I do want to see the heat map. So what I did was, then I went over here and in the add-ons, now this add-on everybody has is you'll have to download it, but it's instrument copy right here. Okay, you can create an instrument copy here, but just you can select it here, and then what you can do is you just come up here and click on the plus tab. We can put in another 6E, okay, and let's just make it simple. We'll add it here, and it says what do you want to name it. We can call it copy 3, okay, and click OK, and then here it is. All right, so I just did that and I call it correlations, right? And then let me show you what I did here. I'll just build it out from this one. Really simple. Come up here to deselect everything basically, except for last price. All right, so a quick way to do that would be to just hide all, show last price. Okay, it's this white line. This is the 6E. You got that? Okay. Now what you want to do though is come back up here, click on correlation tracker up here, and then you need to select it. Okay, so let's select it, and then here we're going to add. Okay, so just add in well, whatever you want to look at. So I had the S&P. I gave it this brown color, I think, kind of orangish brown. The NASDAQ I added in here, and I gave it this blue color, and let's see, I think it was more like this color here, and then I added the Apple as a purple, and that's it. Okay, that's it, and there you go. Now this is where it starts, and it's based on your zoom level in here. Okay, so once you zoom in, no matter what, this is the 0 point for all of them. Okay, this is the 6E. The pricing on the vertical axis here and the price ladder is the 6E. Okay, everything else is kind of related to it here. All right, there you go. So very, very simple. And now we've got a great chart here. And we can look at some sort of discrepancies. Look at the NASDAQ selling off here. Okay, Apple's going up. All right, well, let's jump over to NASDAQ. Let's take a look at this. S&P's going up. Doesn't make much sense. Okay, now this is a pullback here in NASDAQ. Okay, now what do we have here in the heat map, as well as the transactions and the price structure? Not much. We do have, this is a high volume node. This is also where traders came in and moved it higher. So this could be a possible area you're looking at. I wouldn't just nonchalant. I need to see more than just that. Okay, but we noted immediately this is a pullback. Okay, and it just pulled back right to the high volume node and bounced right off of it. Okay, so, and there's an easy opportunity right there. Now this is, I need to see more than that. I wouldn't just jump in kind of willy-nilly in here. I want to see like absorption in here. I want to see like iceberg buying, whatever it might be. I want to see more. If I get that, then this is a good opportunity. All right. All right, guys. So anyway, Leo, any more questions on that? And this is Leo Trader over in Discord, right? Let's see. Okay, good. Got it. All right. Yep. Let's see. Slow down. We got a few more questions over here in Discord. Okay. Yeah. How the COB relates to the heat map. A great question. If you're new to Bookmap, I highly recommend going to this new section here in the Learning Center. Okay, so just this is where to go. Click on the More button, go to Learning Center here, and then watch these videos in here. Okay, what you're asking for is covered in the first few videos in here, I believe. Okay, so they're very short videos. As you can see, you can tear through these in some minutes. All right, so check that out, and that can be very, very helpful for you. All right, but basically what we do in the heat map is just take these areas of high liquidity from the COB column or current order book. These are contracts or your dome here, and we just paint them in a heat map form. Okay, now you can see all the behavior though because it's plotted on the chart historically, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Now there is a relationship here. This is the highest liquidity in this viewable range right now. Now note how that popped out of the range now because price went down. Okay, and then that changes the heat map color, historical heat map color. The heat map though, this is set in stone. Okay, this is like a blockchain or whatever. Like this does not change, but the heat map color will change because there's more information now in the picture. Therefore, it will change it to make another area that's maybe up in here someplace. That will be the most liquidity. Okay. All right. So let's jump over and let's talk about price action now. Okay. Yeah, all right, so we didn't get up to our 34 yet, but still looking and waiting for that. All right, price action. All right, so let's start with a candlestick chart. I think that might be the easiest. In fact, let's make an instrument copy of the ES. We'll just call it, copy. It'll just be ES copy here. All right. Now, what I want to show here first, and yeah, some of you veteran traders are probably rolling your eyes, but stick with it here. There's some good things to cover. Just hang in there with me. All right. So we're going to kind of deselect everything in here. All right, candlestick chart. And I believe this is a 30-minute candlestick. Let's go with a 5-minute here. Okay, so here we have a 5-minute candlestick chart. Now, what kind of information can we derive from a candlestick chart? Okay, there's not a whole lot. It's open, high, low, and close in here. It's not a lot of data. It's only 4 data points for each period. Okay, we'll close our window down here. So we're trying to read and understand the who's in control in these markets, or in this market, by understanding the price action. And what does price action mean? Well, it's purely just the what you see in here, like the size of these candles, and the wicks, the bodies, the structure, and what we're trying to derive from it is, when do we see an opportunity or see something that gives us some sort of insight in the price action, right? So the speed of the move in here is 1. All right, and also the color and the size of the bar is gives a lot of insight. Okay, so we know that this was a big down candle, right? And it happened within 5 minutes. And that starts to give us some good insight here. Okay, now we also, the speed of this move at that time wasn't bad here on this candle back up here. Okay, back to this kind of 40 level. But look how it closed, right? So here's our price action. Okay, it seems to be what we're kind of ascertaining from these 4 periods in here. So 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I guess, or 25 minutes, is that price was kind of happy right around here, right around 35 and a half. So we know the buying pressure, selling pressure with the wicks, and then we see that price picked up, okay, and dropped again. Now, what can we kind of gain from the price action here? Okay, we can understand that again, a lot of selling, and the speed of the move is another thing that we can read here. This took 25 minutes to go back and forth. This took another 5 minutes to drop. However, now look at the speed of this move and the move in terms of points compared to this one here. It's not as big, and the wick is bigger here. And we kind of went back and forth for a little bit, and then price, look at the way it dropped down here. Okay, and look at this candle here. Now here's our big red candle now after that, after these 2 big moves. Okay, so not very big. Now there's no wick on it. It kind of closed here, and then there's a wick on this one after the 5-minute period after. But we can look at this area here, 26 and a half, as a possible pivot here. Okay, and we see now look at the speed of the move on the other side, and look at the size of the bar and the candle. All right, so in fact we were looking right at it when it was happening in Bookmap, and we noted it, and we just said, yeah, yeah, it looks pretty good, but we don't really have quite all the pieces, so we're looking for it to unfold. However, in terms of a high probability opportunity, maybe we'll kind of pass on it, right? And it actually looked better higher when more buying came in. That's what we're looking for. Remember, we drew our vertical line in here in the S&P. Okay, so we can draw that back in. All right, so this is what we can learn from price action. Okay, now we don't know the volume. Where's the volume transacting within this period? We don't know. We don't know little microstructural areas in here. We don't know where the liquidity is. We have no clue about where the buyers and sellers are. And then we were reading all of that absorption on the way down, or the traders getting filled on the bid on the way down, and then looking for that possible turnaround when we get that shift in the buyers. Well, you can kind of see the shift in the buyers here. Now you can. It's easier now after this candle and after maybe some acceptance up here. Now price is accepting higher, right? So look, I'm kind of going through this rather quickly, but this is what we can learn from price action. Now, what we want to look at in Bookmap is well, we're going to start with the first layer here, which is best bid and offer. Okay, and let's zoom in a little bit. So here's that price action here. Okay, this is a strong sell-off. Okay, look at this move here. Like very little pullbacks or areas of consolidation. A little consolidation and then another drop, and then now it starts to consolidate down here. Okay, so in this area in here, what we want to understand though is, well, I would assume that there's probably a lot of limit buy orders down in this area down in here. Okay, we don't have volume on. I don't have anything else to tell me what's going on here. I just have best bid and offer. So I have pure streaming price action here. Okay, I even have the little microstructural areas in here, and they're significant. They have a lot of meaning. You can see that these pullbacks here all the way through, pulled back to about here, and then we get one kind of move back up to the price structure here where it dropped from, and it pulled back to there. You do not see that in the candle at all. Okay, so you can look for these areas and look for exhaustion up here, or maybe a lot of absorption on the sell side. Okay, a lot of sell limit orders up here. All right, so anyway, we now we're kind of breaking down the price action from the candles into just best bid and offer, pure price action. Okay, understanding the speed of the moves, understanding the size of the moves, and little areas of pullback, and then how these other areas relate to each other, because this is the big move here, and we want to relate to that. And we noted on the move back down, it's not quite as big. This one, not quite as big. All right, so now we're starting to and guys, if I'm going over this too slowly, just let me know here. All right, and I'm answering questions along the way. All right, Kenjorada, yeah, got you. You have the Learning Center, and yeah, that'll answer a lot of questions in there. Mill and Colin, we can take a look maybe at AMD here a little bit later. All right, and answer your question on that. All right, so anyway, now let's I have to kind of speed it up here. We don't have a lot of time left. Let's add in volume now, because we really want to understand price or the price action with volume. If we don't have volume, we have very little activity to take a look at. We need this context of volume. Okay, we would assume that there would be strong selling in here. There might not be. It could have been news, and maybe there's no trading in here, and the next trade is way down here because the best bid was down here. It wasn't up here, right? So, and it just kind of gapped basically. So now we have some better information in here. We can look on this move here and start to understand the context of the transactions, okay, relative to others, and this really starts to help. Okay, so we can look at the volume dots down here. We can even start to look at maybe if you want to look at cumulative volume delta at this point. Okay, so we know that the cumulative volume delta is going to be moving to the downside in here. We know that. We can see that in the volume here. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that. And then we can also look at the relative volume in here. Okay, look at the buying, right? It's not a whole lot. It's not bad, but compared to all the selling in here, even the CVD confirms it here. Like there's more selling. This here is basically some divergence in here. We're seeing the move back up, but we're not seeing it in the cumulative volume delta. right? So we have context in here. This is when you start to put your price action to work. And you can just, this can be enough for developing a fantastic trading plan. Okay, in fact, this is what I basically look at, is what Bookmap is showing from the most binary transaction to the biggest chart that I can get my hands on. I think it is all the same, and we just need to understand the concepts, and then it can apply to a monthly chart or a daily chart. That's why I look at these very simple charts in here and want to understand what's going on. Okay, with some of the price action in here and where price might go next. Right, where are the buyers? Where are the sellers? What are the speed of these moves in here? We know there's selling pressure coming in. Anyway, so now we have volume and price action. Next thing we want to look at here is the who's taking the other side of the trade. Okay, what's that context in here? And then that's where we got this with the heat map. Okay, from the order book, all derived from the order book. Right, so here's our move to the downside. Look at this high liquidity here at 30. It transacts. We were looking at that in real time. We're looking for it to go lower still, just because we knew that first we're looking for 33, then 30, and then maybe 27, and then 25. Okay, and it got down to 25. All right, so anyway, and then we started to note, and it became more interesting, and we started to mark it up. In fact, I didn't mark up the vertical line here. I believe it was here in Bookmap. Let's see, this is at what time? This is at 10:35. So let's jump back to this one. Where is this? Yeah, this is at 10:35, right? So we can see it much clearer in Bookmap. The candlestick chart is just lagging here, basically. Yeah, we put it here 5 minutes later or so. Yeah. So you know, this is really where to put it. Again, because we can see everything in here. Now we have all of these, we have these pieces in here. We have the pure price action, and we have the volume within it, and we have the other side of the trade. Now we have something in here. We have this context between these three elements in here, and understanding that price action and price structure in together with the volume and the heat map. Now we're up at 34. Okay, so it went back and forth in here. Now we're up at 34, guys. Okay, so we read that. We saw that unfolding. And we're looking for that move to 34. Okay, and just 34 for now. Okay, and we'll have to look at it again. We know that there's limit sell orders here, here, and here, and here. And they're getting filled. They're staying in the order book. Do we still see buying pressure? Okay, we noted the early buying pressure was pretty strong in here. And then it kind of waned in here, some back and forth. And then look at the pressure coming in here again. Okay, now it's traded up into this high liquidity. Do we still have buying pressure? If we do, we're looking for it to go higher. And our 40 level would be probably next. 40 looks good. However, look at all that liquidity in front of it here at 35. Okay, 34 to 35. All right, so anyway, so we can now read that volume and also this context with the liquidity here at these levels. And here we go, right? It's right in front of us. And we can look for even pullbacks maybe to here. It didn't quite do it, but it came kind of close. And it traded down into just below this little swing, these little swings in here. Again, price action. These little swings, these little areas of consolidation, they matter. This is where you can really optimize your trading. All right, so anyway, that opens up these candles and opens up the price action. and now you can see quite a bit more. Any questions on that? I think I've answered everything. Yeah, alt. There is no time frame here in Bookmap. It is just, you can see it on the horizontal axis here, but these vertical white lines or dotted lines will change when you zoom in and out. You'll just have to relate to it, or you can put up a candlestick chart and relate to it, or you can use the time slice tool. And let's put 60 minutes of data within this viewable range to the right of the chart, to the left of the chart. Okay, 60-minute sliding window of data. All right, guys. Well, anyway, yeah, we can take this same concept here with the price action and go into any time frame. All right, so we can look at this here and start to understand. All right, well, what do we got? Well, we know that they're on the offer here and they trade into it, and there's still a bit more buying pressure. Okay, now it's traded right back down. Now, do we still see more buying pressure? Yeah, a little bit. All right, so let's go up to 35 now. I'm looking for it. Okay, on this very small time frame, I'm looking for them to trade up here to 35. Look at the offer as well, or the bid. The bid is starting to show a little bit more. Okay, so let's see if they can go into 35 and trade into it and through it. Is there more buying pressure that can trade into it and through it? There we go. All right, now, did it trade through it? Yeah, by one tick, and it's not a whole lot. Okay. All right, there's still more. Okay, great. Let's go up to 37 now. Let's see if there's enough buyers to reach 37. Now, one of the things we looked at in the last few webinars as well is this a stop run? And what about trap traders that fuel this? They have it wrong. Okay, well, yeah, we do have some here, right? I would imagine this is a stop run. And we're still looking for this 37 up here to transact. Okay, now let's turn on our stops. And there's our stop run. Okay, now a stop run, means people getting stopped out, but who cares? What matters is understanding what is a stop run, and then the context after that stop run. Is there still more buying pressure? It might not be stops anymore. It might be just new traders getting in and trying to take this higher. Okay, look at the bid here. Okay, the bid is showing a lot more action there on the bid. Okay, do we find more buyers? We're still looking to get up here to 37, and now they're on the bid here, but kind of waned up here with some of the buying. Kind of, you can see it just taper off, literally taper off there. Okay, and then here's sellers that come right back in after that taper. Okay, now do they trade, and did they trade into? Yeah, they did. All right, so, and even more so here. Okay, so we found some sellers in here. Okay, so and a stop run here. Okay, but they still stayed on the bid in here. That's what it looks like to me. It's not a spoof. They're transacting. All right, so now let's look for maybe trap sellers in here. Okay, there's another move lower. All right, so here we go. Now let's see if we can get this in here. I'm not seeing it yet. Okay, but again, we're looking for that transition when those buyers come back in. So we traded into all that high liquidity on this way down. And now let's see them come back in again here. Buyers right around this 30.5 level. And then a quick move maybe back up to 32.25. 32.5. Okay, now we're looking for down here either more absorption or exhaustion on that sell side here. Okay, because we know that these traders are long in here. We're just trying to read if there's more selling pressure down here. Okay, I don't see a lot of buyers right now at all. Okay, we're looking for the quick move back up here. We just didn't get any buyers. It's just not ready yet. All right, guys. Well, anyway, good stuff. You know, now that makes us look pretty good in terms of our 34 as being an area to consider taking some profit. Okay, and then we read it in here, kind of in a bit of microstructure, looking for that move higher. And then we noted the waning. I wanted to see 37 transact, and it started to wane in here on that buying, and literally you can see it, right? Bigger dots, and then small dots, and then very few on this retest back up here. And then we never know when this is going to happen. This is just an aggressor coming in and sweeping the order book. You know, we don't know that when that's going to happen, but we do know they filled this liquidity and here. Okay, so I'm still looking to see if we can get maybe some buyers back up in these areas in here, and just we're not seeing it. All right, quick question on AMD. We can jump over and take a look at that. The question was, price went up aggressively from 85 to 85.70. Okay, so how is this possible? Like it went up there, but on red bubbles. All right, so we're gonna jump in and look at this because we've gotten this question many times. So it's this move that you're talking about here. And stocks, you see this happen pretty frequently. Now this is delta here, delta dots that we're looking at. Just right click on the dot and go to the volume dot settings in here. So it's buy minus sell. See it's volume delta is what we're displaying here. So that's what we're looking at, buy minus sell. So there's more sellers on the way up here. Okay, so look at CVD drop like a rock in here. All right, so if we zoom in though, you'll see what's kind of happening in here. Now, unfortunately, yeah, this is unfortunate. Sorry about this, Mill and Colin. I don't have this is backfill data, and you can see it's one, you know, or it's per like second here, or every couple of, yeah, every second here. See, I'm getting a volume dot on every second here, right? So I won't be able to cover it properly here for you because it's backfill data, right? But we can look at maybe another example where we don't have backfill data. Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe we can see it in Apple, because it happens a lot in all stocks. Maybe in here. How about Tesla? No, it seems to be behaving pretty well in here. Okay, well, anyway, it's definitely possible, because what can happen is as price is going up, the big transactions might be sellers, but they're failing to drop it lower. Okay, and then the best bid and offer, there can be a spread, and it doesn't take much buying to lift it higher. And then there will be a big transaction of sellers, but you know, it'll take place right into high liquidity on the bid, and these sellers are completely absorbed. They cannot drop it, right? Let's see, Jack's got something for me here. Take a look at, and let's see, what are you talking about here? Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't take much. Like this is the scenario. Okay, good, you understand. That's the scenario here. So they'll be on the bid, they'll absorb it, and then just price just kind of trickles up because there's no one else selling at that point. And then you get another big sell up here, but right into high liquidity on the bid that fails to drop it yet again, and then price kind of trickles back up. In fact, a lot of times you can look at that as being a low volume pullback in some of these areas. And yeah, this isn't it. But you can look for maybe really heavy selling in here, and then like this would be extremely low volume pullback. There's very little buy volume to take this back up. That should show a lot of weakness. Okay, so I would imagine then, like, if there's nothing but sellers in here, boy, look for the real sellers to start coming in and drop this lower here. Okay, so anyway, it's something that happens again and again, and yeah, about the aggressor is what Jack is talking about. Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, like in this case, it's you get the aggressor, but in this instance, it would be a lot about who's on the other side. It's the passive order. And the sellers they fail to drop it. They're selling. It's real selling. The delta is still more selling. Anyway, Melon Colin, the way to go through it is come up to your and why I showed the settings here. Come up to settings and go to total volume. Okay, and then zoom in and zoom into those areas. Okay, and you'll see the details. Okay, once you zoom into the area with the details, you'll see every single transaction take place, and you'll start to understand, like, this is actually what happened, right? Maybe there's lots of buyers in here, but maybe they just can't seem to lift it. Maybe there's an iceberg on the other side. That's another thing we don't know in stocks. If there's an iceberg, there's no iceberg detector. But anyway, the education is going to happen when you zoom in and look at some of the details here in total volume. Okay, so it's up to you how you prefer it. You probably see it also in the delta, but the better study would be with total volume. All right, guys, I think that's it. That's everything. We covered a lot here. Just a quick recap. We started off with looking for these absorption areas in here. On the way down, we went over a few different trade management examples. We went over correlations today as well. We went over price action, and we did cover some microstructure in some of these moves as well. So a lot of stuff today. So yeah, hope it was good. That's it for me. I'll be back on Friday. Guys, if you like this, please hit the like button there in YouTube. That's a big help for us. So I know what to cover. And if you liked it, if you didn't like it, then we can look for more in the direction that you guys want. Yeah, so please, yeah, hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. They're not tracking it or anything like that. So it helps us for sure. All right. Yeah, good stuff. We'll catch up with you guys on Friday then. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.